Sup everyone, this is Draco Evolve back yet again with some latest Manchester United transfer news and speculation. Latest Manchester United transfer news now, and we look at some of the papers that's going to be making the rounds this morning in about 7-8 hours time. But I've got obviously the news early, going through some of the publications, and I thought maybe I'll talk to you guys about it. So before we get started, there should be something at the bottom appearing. You can see that all the timestamps for all the subjects that I'm covering in today's video. So do feel free to skip parts of it if you want to reach the relevant ones that you need. However, I think it's all interesting anyway, so do stick around. And as always guys, if you like what you see, tune in every time. I'll be uploading this type of video around this time, and hopefully we'll get some traction going. But today, big headline is on the thumbnail, you've guessed it, is Timo Werner. So Timo Werner to Manchester United. There are a couple of reports coming out tonight, you can say, that Timo Werner is set to be for Manchester United. You can say, United are interested in Timo Werner, and I'll read you out the article from the Metro. Again, these are all speculations, so take it how you want, but that's why I'm here, to bring you some speculation. This is exactly that. But Manchester United hope to hijack Liverpool's move to sign Red Bull Leipzig striker Timo Werner after opening talks with the Germans' representatives over a move to Old Trafford. The 24-year-old is set to leave the club this summer and has made no secret of his desire to work with Jurgen Klopp. The Red Devils are believed to be keen on Werner, but the pandemic has cast a huge uncertainty over the summer transfer window. Jamie Carragher recently claimed that Reds will have to postpone their move for Werner, while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer admitted United will be looking to exploit the situation to their benefit. According to Bild, that's exactly what United are attempting, as the German outlet are reporting that the Red Devils have entered into talks with Werner's agent. Chelsea are also set to have held negotiations, though the Blues have previously been reported to have held talks for the striker. The news will be a blow for Liverpool, but Reds still lead the chase for the German forward. Werner's preference remains to move to Old Trafford, but Klopp must convince the board to sanction a big money move when he already has the likes of Firmino and Origi at his disposal. So there you have it. This is the latest for Timo Werner news. Timo Werner to Manchester United, potentially. This was the thumbnail news, and to be frank, the article states that Timo Werner is leaning more towards Liverpool. We've heard reports around that before. However, the article also states that Liverpool are unable to make any deals for the time being because of the pandemic. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed that he will be looking to exploit this to their benefit. Timo Werner is highly likely to leave the German club. However, his preference is to work with Jurgen Klopp. But if we can show Timo Werner, if we can talk to Timo Werner, which according to this report we have held talks, then it'll be great to try to kind of poach him away from Liverpool, under Liverpool's noses. His stats: so he's only 24 years old, he's German international, he can play centre forward, predominantly he's a centre forward, he can play on the left wing as well. So far in all competitions he has made 36 appearances, scoring 27 times, assisting 12 times. So you can see, not only does he score goals, he makes assists as well. And you know what, let's face it, I'm a fan of Timo Werner. I think he's a bright talent, he's a clever player, he's got a lot to improve at the same time, he's showing great potential, he's got loads of game time under his bag. That's including with the German international. He's got a sweet left foot as well as the right foot. I love his left foot and long shots. I think he's a real talent. He's pacey at the same time, which does fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's philosophy, especially when we play with counter-attacking football. And of course, we are looking for a striker. I don't think a sole number 9 position of Anthony Martial is going to break it. I think he needs a backup striker or striker that can give him a challenge. And Timo Werner is flexible. Same with Anthony Martial. It'll be a nice rotation to have in the squad. It'll be a nice headache to have up front. And with his stats, I think he's going to be a great acquisition. I think he's going to be easy to get for any club, especially him coming out and confirming that he's looking to leave this summer, which makes it certainly easy for the club coming in. Manchester United have apparently held talks with his representatives, but nothing's come out of it. Again, these are not confirmed, so do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you go for Timo Werner, who's 24 years old, or would you go for someone who's more experienced, more on the older side, so that Anthony Martial coming into his peak and Mason Greenwood jumping up to that level, because Mason Greenwood is still young, someone who can kind of bridge the gap between the two. You got a bit of experience like what Igalo has done. He's coming, I think he's given us a different approach. He's not a long-term signing. He knows he's a backup striker. He can also do a job for us. Maybe someone like him we might need just to ease some pressure off Anthony Martial and ease some pressure off Mason Greenwood. Someone of a caliber of Timo Werner will probably demand a first-team action all the time. So it might be a bit difficult to keep both Anthony Martial and Timo Werner up front at the same time happy. But you never know. We can utilize two strikers, isn't it? I haven't seen United play with two strikers in a very, very long time. We have played with two wide striker, wingers, whatever you want to call it these days. I think inside forward, who can bomb in and run in, making it up certainly another striker. But two out-and-out striker, each complementing each other. I haven't seen that happen in football, in a top-flight football, for a very long time, let alone Manchester United. But that's the latest on Timo Werner. I'm going to move on to the next bit of news. So this is according to the Express. Aaron Ramsey. So remember this guy. Aaron Ramsey to Manchester United is a potential, especially if Paul Pogba is going the other way. So I'm just going to read you out the article. Manchester United have been linked with a swap deal for Juventus star Aaron Ramsey, with the future of Paul Pogba uncertain. It goes on to say Manchester United could sign Aaron Ramsey, with Juventus willing to let the former Arsenal man leave if they were to secure the return of Paul Pogba in a blockbuster swap deal. The World Cup winner's future is uncertain at Old Trafford, we all know that, and Pogba has only made 8 appearances this campaign due to injuries. And reports are claiming that although Sarri is happy with Ramsey and believes that his best form is coming in and he has performed admirably just before the breakup of football, it's going to be hard. So, the only reason why Aaron Ramsey will be sold to United is if it involves a swap deal. I don't know what to think of that. I think this is a bullcrap, report. Even if it is true, I'll be very disappointed. I think Pogba can offer so much more, and I'm pretty damn sure that a straight swap with Aaron Ramsey and Paul Pogba is not going to work out in our favour for sure. I think Pogba is worth a lot more than that. He can offer a lot more. Aaron Ramsey has been great for Juventus, but he's not a world beater. Yes, he has the experience in the Premier League, but I think his wages are like 400k a week. I think he needs to take a big cut, even to consider it. Having a midfielder like Aaron Ramsey earning over 400k a week at Old Trafford, it will be a farce, especially when someone like Bruno Fernandes is earning just over 100k a week. For me, definitely a no-no. Definitely a no-no, especially if it involves Paul Pogba going the other way. I think if we can Juventus a few other players on top of money as well, on top of Ramsey, then maybe we should consider it. But I think it's just a crappy news, and even if it's true, I will hate to see that happen. But that's the latest on Aaron Ramsey. Moving on, it is a bit around Dean Henderson. So Dean Henderson, remember him? He's having a stellar season for Sheffield United, and he is our keeper. However, there is a bit of a dilemma in terms of what's going to happen to him, especially a moral dilemma over Dean Henderson. So I'm just going to read you out the article. They must decide whether to let the England under-21 keeper stay at top 4 rivals Sheffield United and potentially help deny United a £60 million plus Champions League slot, or bring him back and make him unhappy potentially. Because let's be face it, I think Dean Henderson has earned his right not to be even a second fiddle. You know, and for United to deny Dean Henderson that chance to develop, I think it's going to be a bit of a crime, bit of a moral dilemma, definitely. Because if he ends up being with Sheffield United and Sheffield United get into the top 4 place, which effectively will rule out Manchester United getting into the Champions League and missing out on a bunch of players potentially, and of course money, and it'll be because Dean Henderson was part of that Sheffield United squad. So I think that will be a very moral move for Manchester United, a bit of a dilemma. You know, do you let him stay at Sheffield United and, you know, he helps Sheffield United knock United off the Champions League spot, or do you bring him back and he becomes unsettled and unhappy, which could mean in the future there will be problems. I wouldn't want to be in the position to make that decision, especially at Manchester United currently. If I was very selfish man, I would say bring him back just to stifle Sheffield United, because technically the season, his loan contract expires I believe in June, and we're not far from June. The season hasn't restarted yet. So it would be up to the clubs to have sort of like a understanding and say, look, we missed 2-3 months of the season. Can we have a mutual understanding and extend that deal to another 2-3 months, just so that he gets to play the campaign or helps Sheffield United finish the campaign. That will be up to the club, and this is what the report is also saying from the Sun. But it's all a bit confusing times at the moment, especially when it comes to contractual situations. I think the loan players especially, you look at the likes of Igalo is another problem at United. Like, we initially agreed a loan deal until the end of the campaign, but the campaign looks like it's going to go beyond May. Obviously it's not going to restart. So what does that mean? Does he stay on, or does he, you know, go back to his parent club? Contractually he has the right to go, and contractually the club can pull him out, but a bit of a understanding between the football club, especially in the case of Dean Henderson, will have to be sorted out, I think. But that's the news around Dean Henderson's potential transfer back into Manchester United. Next up, we have a big one. It is Lautaro Martinez. So apparently, this is a report from ESPN. They're saying that, I'm going to read you out the article, that Barcelona are worried about the price of Martinez being driven up. The report goes into detail about how the Barca leadership team is concerned that interest from other large European clubs will drive up the asking price for Lautaro this summer. The clubs that seem to worry Barcelona are Manchester United, PSG and Real Madrid. Barcelona's optimism of being the top team remains purely due to Lautaro's desire to come to Spain over other leagues. The club listed above could be a better situation to offer Inter what they want. A large sum of money plus player packages seems to be the trend. Inter seem to know what Barcelona's limits are. Perhaps they'll be more interested to see what other clubs have to offer. For Barcelona, they just have to hope that Lautaro's desire to come to Nou Camp remains at their advantage. So there you have it. That's the bit around ESPN reporting around Lautaro Martinez. So Barcelona are very much interested in him. Martinez is interested in going to La Liga. However, Inter Milan know that Barcelona is not able to pull out the cash, and unfortunately for Lautaro, which could mean other clubs such as Manchester United could swoop in for the youngster. And he's a great talent, to be frank. I don't know how much he'll cost, but I would love to have him. For those of you that watch my Football Manager live streams, you guys will know he's the guy that I would love to have as a striker. He's such a magnificent talent. He's still young. We'll go through his stats in a bit. He's a very, very clever player and physically good as well. Physically strong for the Premiership, in my opinion. And for Lautaro to end up potentially at Manchester United could be a very good signing for us, especially considering the amount of dealings we'd had with Inter Milan, the amount of help we gave to Inter Milan in terms of the players that they wanted, and we've allowed it. Lukaku, Sanchez being one of them, and Ashley Young as early as June. Maybe Inter Milan can consider and say, you know what, as a gesture of goodwill, we'll knock off a bit of price, or we'll try to push Lautaro towards you guys more. But let's see, maybe Inter Milan will turn around and say, give us another player. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of players available at our disposal to pass on to Inter Milan for Lautaro Martinez. But that remains to be seen. In terms of his stats this season, So he's 22 years of age. He's Argentine. He plays centre forward, striker, which is good for us. We need a striker. He played 31 games, 16 goals, 4 assists. Not in terms of number wise, in terms of what Timo Werner can offer, but both are different types of players. But that is still impressive stats for a young Argentine centre forward. My only concern is he has his mindset on, just like Timo Werner, they have the mindset of going to another club. How much of a desire will it be to come to Manchester United? I mean, it'll be amplified by the fact that if Manchester United offer a lot of money, maybe they'll consider it. But we've seen players in the past where United have stumped up loads of cash, but they're just coming for the cash. It's not about the team really, but we need to move away from that. That's my only two concern over Timo Werner and Lautaro Martinez. I'm not doubting their technical abilities. I'm not doubting their desire. It's just that we've had dealings in the past where the player truly didn't want to come to United, but only got persuaded by the money. And once they are in, they just don't give a shit. Alexis Sanchez, straight up, I'll say it. But that's the latest on everything in tonight's paper for tomorrow in terms of Manchester United transfer news. Now, do get involved. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What you guys think? Would you guys take Timo Werner or Lautaro Martinez? Or would you take both? You know, that would be good. That would be too much of a luxury, I think. But do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next upload. And stay farafari.